All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about the JXWVU portable power pack. So this thing is really cool, has a lot of features that a lot of high-end solar power packs just do not have. And this thing is super light. We're going to put it on the scale later and show you the weight. But we're going to talk about all the features of this thing as well. So far, really impressed. Had this for about 2 weeks and tested it with laptops, phones, the wireless charging, how fast we could charge this from about 20% up to 100. And as you can see, that's the fans running right there because I have a MacBook Pro plugged into this charger right now. But 2 weeks in, I'm pretty impressed at how well it does, going through the motions. And even in colder weather, when I say colder, I mean like high 30s, low 40s, this thing seems to do very well and doesn't have a drain to it. So pretty impressed with that. I do plan on using this with the 4Runner rooftop tent, kind of overland setup, camping setup, if you will. So let's go over a few of the features this thing has. I'll show you what the box it comes in and what comes in the box actually when you buy this thing. So when this gets shipped to you, it's double boxed. This is actually the inner box that comes with, and it's packaged really well. There was no damage to any of the box, the outer box or the inner box. And it pretty much tells you all the features of this thing on the box. So pure sine wave inverter, MPPT charge controller. It's got the 100 to 240 volt plugs, USB-C, regular USB, and a bright LED light on the side, as well as your AC outputs, your cigarette lighter, the whole nine. So this thing's got tons of features packed in, and the price on this right now is about $699. So you get a lot of features and a lot of power for something that doesn't cost a lot, which is really huge, because a lot of people are buying things right now off Amazon, online. All these new brands are coming out, and some people are pulling them out of the box and they're not even working. Well, like I said, I tested this thing for 2 weeks first, drained it down 3 or 4 times now, and I've had 0 issues with it. All right, so I read off all the features in the box. Now we'll go over them on the actual portable power bank themselves. So one cool feature that doesn't say on the box is that it actually has, this top part right here is a wireless charger. So see the little thing right there? We have a Samsung S24. Set it up top and it starts charging. On the front, we have all your controls, right? So this is your power button. You just hold it on or hold it to turn off. So there's off. Hold it for a second, turns back on. This controls your DC, your USBs, your AC, and your wireless charger. So you can individually turn on and shut off all these features on here. Going down to the bottom, you have your standard USBs, your USB-As, 3 of them, and then you have your 12 volt outlet right here, 100 watts, and then you have your USB-C outlets right here. And these are pretty powerful. So these are 45 watts, and I think the last one is 100. Let's go in a little. It's 100 watts on this last one. So if you have a computer that charges off USB-C, you could run straight to here and charge your computer without having to go to run the inverter and all the other stuff. So another feature is the watts in and watts out. This is the main screen. This, of course, is your battery percentage. And these are going to be your watts input and your watts out. So important note, when this thing charges, so it does turn off the screen if you don't use it for a little bit. When this thing charges, it charges really, really fast. Like I think I charged from like 20% to 100 in about 35 minutes or so. And this thing was pulling in from the wall at probably 750 watts. So I'll plug it into the wall and just get a quick glimpse of that in a minute. But also with this, you get, so your standard wall charger, right? And then a lot of times, a lot of companies want you to pay for this one right here. This is your cigarette lighter charger. So if you're in your car and you're leaving this in your car while you're, while it's running or while you're driving, you're charging your battery pack, which is a really cool feature. Like I said, this comes with it. And then of course you have your instructions in the bag. So it comes with everything you need to get going. So as I said, I have it plugged in. I have a MacBook Pro plugged in right now. And these are your 3 standard 120 volt outlets. And if you pull this out, right, let's pull this. There's actually a cover so you can keep stuff from getting in there, clogging it up, get it all dirty. And then up top, you have your cooling fans. You have cooling fans on both sides. So we flip to the other side now. Like I said, you have 2 cooling fans on both sides. So pretty cool. Keeps this thing nice and cool. I haven't had any issues. I've used it. I've had stuff plugged in this thing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 2 weeks. So it's never overheated. The highest amount of pull I've had between wireless charging, USB-C, and then 120 volt running the inverter was probably right about 700 watts. And this thing never overheated. You did get a little bit of noise from the cooling fans running, which you heard earlier. But that's normal. This thing's doing its job and it's staying cool. Nothing out of keep. So as I read off on the box, this thing does have a light on the side. It's super bright. It's got a couple modes you can go to. Flashing mode, flashing, and then off. And then if you lift this side up, you have your car charger port. You have your wall charging port. And then right here, I have no idea what that is. Looks like a breaker of some sort. Never had to use it, so I'm guessing, just judging by the arrows, that is a breaker right there. What we'll do now is we'll plug a couple things in, like as you can see right now, the phone is charging, and it kind of bounces around based on what the phone is pulling. But this phone is taking about 15 watts off the wireless charger. When we plug in the MacBook, we'll see what it pulls. Like I said, a lot of times when you turn on the inverter, you'll get the fans running, which is pretty normal. So the laptop may be charged all the way now. Let's see, open it up. All right, laptop is powering on. I guess my kids killed it. So now you see the watts are starting to jump up as this thing turns on. So we're sitting about 31, well, 40. Let's get it all the way on, and then we'll see where we're sitting at. I'm guessing it's probably gonna be about 50 to 60 watts, depending on what it's pulling. But as I said, it does show you that, and then after this thing runs for a little bit, it will kick on the fan on and off. And that's normal. Like I said, it's just keeping the batteries cool, keeping the inverter cool, making sure nothing's gonna overheat. And like I said, for 2 weeks, I've had 0 issues with this. So this is the wall charger plugged in. As you see, the watts are climbing as it starts pulling water to charge it up. Sitting currently about, oh, there it goes. So we're about 840 watts from the wall. And like I said, this thing charges super fast. I'll put it closer so you can kind of hear the fans when it is charging. And that's pretty normal, especially for a high power charge like this, because this thing charges super, super quick when you hook it up. So the next thing we're gonna do is we'll pull this off and we'll put it on a scale to show you how much this thing weighs. Super light, to me it is at least. So lugging in and out of the car and up to a rooftop tent if you want to put it in the corner, or even just on a picnic table while you're charging a couple things. It's pretty light to carry around, and it has a nice handle up top that folds in, so it makes it really easy to carry this thing around. So here we have your standard scale zeroed out. We'll grab this thing. And so carrying it around, it is 26.6 pounds. So not bad, super light, easy to carry around. All right, so to wrap up this video on this, super impressed. Shipping was great. Really quick. This thing came in 4 days from the time I ordered it, which pretty impressive to me. It was packed very well. It came with all needed things to get you started, so all power supplies, and it worked great out of the box, so no complaints there. My plan is to do like a couple reviews on this, so this is kind of like the initial. I did 2 weeks of testing on it, running things. I am going to get a fridge eventually. We're going to run the fridge off of this, like a portable power fridge for like an AirB or Dometic, something like that. And we'll kind of test this thing and see how long we can get out of it. Important note on this is it's 1,000 watts, and it's got a 1,200, I guess, surge inverter to it. So if something has a kickstart and it surges up, or you have multiple things plugged up and then something surges or kicks the inverter up higher on the initial startup, this thing will surge up to 1,200 and then operate at 1,000 watts. I haven't tested it that high, but I do plan on running multiple high power things on this as we camp around in it. But initial review overall, very nice. Like I said, a lot of features on a much better price point than a lot of the other things out there. The key thing in this is going to be longevity. How does the battery hold up? How does the battery maintain after you're using and charging a lot? And I guess weather elements, when it's hot outside when we get there, cold outside, how does it hold up in that? But we'll get to those every so often. But for now, initial 2-week review, really digging this thing. Really like it and pretty impressed with the JXWVU. They did not give this to me for free. I bought this to test it, use on the road, and try it out. So if you have any questions, drop them below, and you can check out their Instagram and YouTube page. They have a lot of videos on this thing, and they even have bigger chargers and smaller chargers than this. This is probably right around the size and capacity that I wanted. But if you need something bigger, they do have a 2,500 watt monster of a battery bank. And like I said, you can get solar panels as well. So thanks for watching. Like I said, you have any questions, feel free to drop it below.